It was back in, about 2002, I suppose it was. A friend of mine building 2 Besser brick houses up at an outstation. So he asked me to cart all his building material, and it was a pretty hectic run. The track is only 2 wheel ruts all the way and goes up over mountains and down through valleys and through creeks and rivers, and eventually you get there. Hopefully you don't get bogged. So the first trip up there, I took a load of premix in the tip truck for his concrete, and he heard the truck coming. It was quite a loud truck. Could hear it 5 kilometres away, and he put the billy on ready for when I arrive. When I get there, telling me his stories and I'm telling him mine, as usual. Our problem we've got here at the moment is we've got this half-tamed dingo that belongs to the people here, he said. And, it keeps getting into everything, making a nuisance of itself. And he said the other day, every time we had a shower, the soap started disappearing out of the shower recess. So we decided to stake it out and see what was happening to the soap. And then this dog went in the shower recess, grabbed the soap out of the soap holder and ate it. So I said to Kerry, I said, why don't you take your soap back to the tent every night and zip the tent up, and it won't get it then. Yeah, good idea. I went home. 3 days later I had to go back there with a flat truck load of cement for his concrete. I told him my stories and he told me his, and he said, hey Rogers, you know that dog I was telling you about? Yeah. He said, well now it's going into our pantry. We're a pantry built here in the shed, a bit of a makeshift kitchen. He said, and it's coming in here and pinching the rinso off the shelf in the pantry, and it takes it out in the paddock and tips it everywhere and then eats it. Okay. I said, why don't you put the rinso on the top shelf? Won't get it there. So off I went again. Went home. 3 days later I'm up there with another load. I've got a load of Besser bricks for him for the first walls, and got the billy boiled, of course. And he says, hey Rod, you know that dog? Yeah. And he said, now it's climbing the shelves, getting it off. It's getting the rinso off the top shelf. You wouldn't believe it, he said. And I said, well, I don't know what to say now, so I don't have any new ideas. And he said, well, it's not only climbing the shelves, but it's opening the fridge and it's pulling everything out of the fridge. Anyway, he's just got a new offsider arrived this day. And he's just come from Darwin, and he's never worked in an Aboriginal outstation before. Doesn't know the ways of the Aboriginal people, you know. His offsiders muttering under his breath. Now, I clearly heard him say, I know what I'll do with the dog. And so anyway, I went home and got a load of roof trusses a couple of days later and headed up to the same place. And when I get there, the billy's boiled as usual. That dog, he says, I was just turning in and having my last smoke the night before last, and I heard this voice outside the tent, hey, come and give us a hand. He opened the tent up, and there's the dog with a 6-inch knife blade sticking out of its chest. And it's just in its death throes going like that, eh? Anyway, he says to his offsider, he says, look mate, you can't do this to Aboriginal people's dogs. If they find out you've done this, they'll spear us for sure. We need to cover this up or we're in deep trouble, I'll tell you. So his mate says, Well, what do you reckon we should do? Well, just for now, we'll put it in the deep freeze. They won't find it there. So they put the dog's corpse in the deep freeze, shut the lid, went to bed. Next day they're working on the job, and the offsider says, "I worked out what to do with the dog." "Oh yeah, what are we going to do?" He said, "Well, when Rog comes up with the next load, we'll give him the frozen dog and he can bury it on the track going home." "Oh yeah, that's a good idea." So I came up there the next day with another load of building material, and of course they hit me up. "Rog, you reckon you could take this dog with you and bury it along the track somewhere?" I said, "Yeah, alright, I'll do that." So we had our coffee and off I went after unloading. Anyway, I hit this 100-metre long sand patch. It's about 10 k's from where we started, and the truck got stuck. And I spun the back wheel until it was down on the axle. So I got the jack out and jacked away there for about an hour until I had the truck lifted up where the wheel was clear of the hole. And I said, that's good, I'll just have to put some bits of timber in there now and I'll be able to drive away. Anyway, I looked around and there was plenty of whole trees knocked down by the last cyclone, but there was no small bits of timber to put in the hole. And I didn't have a chainsaw. So then I had the brainwave, the frozen dog. So I put the frozen dog in the hole, let the jack down and drove away and buried the dog and got the truck out all in one go away. So the moral to this story is, whenever you go into suspect country where you're not sure you can get through, always take a frozen dog with you, just in case.